Two questions, Mr. President.
I can take a few questions from the media.
Mr. Joseph Morong of GMA7.
Sir, good evening po. Joseph sa GMA7. Sir, I'm sure with regard to, with due respect, Chief Albayalde, I'm sure you've been apprised of what happened in the Senate investigation on the Ninja Cops, and you've talked to both General Magalong and General Albayalde. First, maybe you know your thoughts about Chief Albayalde.
I have many thoughts from both sources, newspaper, gossips, chismis, everything. So, nauna ang Senate. In obedience to the separation of powers and respect for each other's department, I should allow the Senate to complete its investigation. Then, if it is sent to me, I do not have the investigators in my office. Ang tao ko lang sa office of the apat lang. Tatlong babae, isang major, dalawang lieutenants, and of course my aides. For the Army, Navy, may isa ako. Yan lang ang staff ko. I do not do investigations. So the most proper thing to do, which is in line with procedural due process, is to await for the closure of the investigation by the Senate, and when it is forwarded to me, since it is under, the police is under DILG. It's a bureau under Secretary Anyo. So I will forward it to him, give him a specific period to complete his investigation. Not so short, not too long, but a period of time that is comfortable if he needs to call people. But all he has to do is to review. And if he needs to conduct altogether another investigation, he can do so. We are not totally bound by the investigation of other departments. Though I would say that most of the testimony or declarations given in the Senate were under oath. I suppose that everybody was telling the truth there. So, konting panahon yan. But procedural due process must be followed. I cannot just wait for the Senate, its report, then adopt it as my own. Okay ba yan?
Sir,
Walang sanction kasi ang Senate. But when I decide on the basis of the report of Secretary Anyo, I can dismiss, discharge, terminate any and all of them. So hintayin ko yan. But we will be fair. There has to be, alam mo, ang PNP is not that bad. By and large, we have a very good PNP working for our country. Yung scalawags dyan sa yung Ninja Cops, have been there in Manila, one or two in Davao, and everywhere. Yung amin sa probinsya, natapos na namin. The Ninja Cops dito sa Greater Manila area are known for their ferocity, viciousness, and toxicity. I am sure the investigations will bear these things right.
sir, how do these things, no, yung mga lumabas po sa Senate and then even yung mga information na nakarating sa inyo, how does this affect your confidence in General Albayalde in terms of leading the drug war, which is one of the key programs of your administration?
Well, I would not preempt Secretary Anyo, but I leave it to him to decide. But the only thing was that if you really want to know, this does not bind Secretary Anyo of what might be his conclusion. He was, Albayalde happened to be the provincial police director at that time. But yung Ninja Cups, that is his only, well, if you have to insist, that is his only link, that, na yung mga tao na yun, were under his command. Up to that point, I don't know if Secretary Anyo would, I do not want to preempt. But I would say that this is not a brief for Albayalde, but you know, if it comes to a serious thing as dismissing a top official here and there, it has to be for a good reason, and there must be enough proof.
So, sir, we have not reached that maybe litmus test na you're prepared to probably let go of the chief? We have not reached that point yet.
No, I will.
Wait for it.
Our emotions, our disappointments and anger do not come to play in investigations. Anyo, I'm sure, would be in his proper equanimity when he begins the investigation.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph Morong. May we call on Ms. Joyce Banancio of ABS-CBN?
Good evening, Mr. President. Mr. President, what is your take or how are you taking yung proposed bill of U.S. senators proposing for the ban of Philippine officials who are involved in the detention of Senator Laila de Lima?
I have the best adjective for that. Pero at this time, I will just hilaw pa yan eh. At the best, hilaw pa yan. When it becomes ripe, then I will say my piece.
But do you think, sir, it's a form of interference to...
Hindi naman. These are the voices of the members of a committee. And if the committee will report the resolution to the plenary, and the plenary would adapt or join them, and that would be the act of Congress. I do not deal individually with the congressman or senators there. Hindi pa hinog yan. It is not an act of state. It does not carry the mandate of the entire Senate. So if there is one or two or three who says that these things exist in the Philippines, let them. I cannot help them in their ignorance. So if they decide to report it out of the committee to the plenary for adoption, and it becomes, it is now ripe, it becomes a matter now between two states, then that is the time maybe the State Department or Trump and I will have to talk. And I will talk.
Do you think, sir, it's proper also for the government to also ban these senators here in the country?
Wala pa naman sila. Those are proposals. And proposals are what they are. simply proposals.
So you don't see any need for us to ban them as well?
I said when the proper time comes, when it is
Will you task the Secretary of Interior and Local Government to investigate on this regarding the two senators, U.S. senators?
no, we will waste our time. Why would I waste my time investigating to